All right, good morning. We want to continue with the series of our Mysql tutorials, and today we want to look into a given tutorial written by one guy. Maybe at the end of, by when we reach to the bottom of the page, we'll be able to see the guy's name, and we want to practice all this. It says drop database. I want to start creating database before we drop it. Look at the command here. It says create database name, right? So when I say create database SQLDB, I will highlight. If I want to run only this one line command, I will highlight and click on this execute command with cursor. But if I click on this, it will execute the entire things. So I will do that. You'll be seeing can you see a message here? It says one row affected. So now if I say show databases, it will show all the databases that are found in the system. These are the list of the databases. If you check, it says SQLDB. So why do I have two SQLDBs? Okay, one is not spelled correctly, right? Which is the one I just did here, SQL without L. Otherwise, it will not create two different databases with something. Can you see SQL without L? And this. So let's go with that. SQL without L. So I created it, and I will now say, I will say what? If I want to make it active, I will say use. And look at the command here. It says use database name. It sets default current database active. To set it active. Okay. So when I click, it will set it active. When I say show tables, that means tables from this selected database. Since there are no tables, it will show nothing. Can you see? Nothing is being shown. Please, are we understanding what I'm doing? Now look at what this guy says. That you should drop the database. If you want to drop the database, that means you want to drop the database including its tables. Are we there? So before that, let me see the next question here. It says I should then create database, and I will create what? MySQL result, my result as a table. So I will create a table here called my result. You have two ways of creating tables. You can create using drag and drop. You can also create using queries. Can we go by which do you want? Using query? Yes. So we now say create table, the table name, open bracket, close bracket, and open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Then you state the fields, the columns of the table. Look at it there. The first column is what? School ID. And it says it's an int, the data type and its primary key. Then you now say ID int auto increment primary key. That is one field. Next is what? Name varchar CA int, exam int, total int, time then times time. So can you give me all those things? What does he say? Sorry. Student ID, name, it is varchar 60. That is the length for the varchar with R. That is 60 character length. Next, CA int. Next, exam, right? Exam, yes, thank you. Exam, let me make it capital. Exam, also int. Total, total also int. But here exams shouldn't be int, right? Should be double. But let's just go, okay, comma before, right? What next? Huh? Time. Okay, date. Let's say date created. Then just say date and it should be date and time or timestamp. Then if I push this, if I want to know the structure of my table, I'll just get the table name and I will say describe what? The name of the table, and I will push this. Can you see our table here? Created. Then now if we want to see the content of the table, we now say select, because select always gives you content of something. Select asterisk from. Please try to familiarize yourself with these things. They are very simple. Can you see nothing is the inside, right? Description, when you say describe, gives you structure. When you say select, it gives you content of the table. You want to see the instances of the table. Are we there? Now then, if I want to insert, I will now say insert into what? Insert into table. That means into table name. What am I inserting? You now say values. This is one way of, there are two ways of doing these things. Okay? Values. Now you look into something. Here I said auto increment. I don't need to supply anything on the auto increment. You now say no. Next, name. Somebody should volunteer and give him Smith. Okay, no metric number, right? So somebody should even understand the Smith we are. CA. What have you gotten? Let's say he got 25. Exam. Let's say 35. 40. 50. Total. How do we get total? No, don't do total yourself. Allow Mysql to do it. You know, please try to watch last week's video. We told you that Mysql does all calculations needed. Sine, cosine, whatever, tangents, pi, all those calculations are embedded. So you don't allow it. Don't do that. You now say CA plus what? CA plus exam to do it for you. That's total. Date created. I think this should be in court. The date is, if you want it, you can just say current date. You know, yes, I should have asked you. You know, we did something like, we said current date. Huh? You see the importance? It will give you today's date. Then you push this. It says one row affected. If you select, look at how I'm going to, I don't want to repeat this something. I want to select and see what happens. Can you see how many rows do we have? Huh? One row. Is the calculation correct? Yes. It says date created. It gives us what? Today's date at the current date time. It was 00 milliseconds and all these. I don't know whether you see today we are practicing two different things. Go. So now, please, I did this deliberately because I want you to use this idea, solve the first assignment. Okay? But the question is saying this. The question we are solving here, it says drop database. It says what? Drop. Now, if I drop database, I will drop this database. That means I will delete it, including a table and everything. You won't see it again. Are we there? But before I do that, let me back it up. Okay, let me back it up before I do that. CMD. This is another thing. If you want to back up your database, this is what you do. Okay. Sorry, I'm not writing on the. I've not been writing here. Now, backup, database backup. How do you back up? you want to write this command. The command is this. What? But this command is to be written inside C backslash greater than sign. You write it inside command prompt. Oh, you now see Mysql what? Mysql u root, sorry, Mysql dump, not u root. Mysql dump. Okay, what are you dumping? Huh? The database, the entire database. You know, see, anyway, let me just write it here so it will be easier for me. CLS Mysql dump. What am I dumping? The database name. I think you have to specify the root, something like this. Then database name is my result. I think I have it. No, Mysql DB. Look at the database name here. The database. Sorry, this is the table name. This it will dump this with everything. The database name is this, and then we now see. Okay, there is no option because we needed everything. Then you use this. Greater than sign means exporting. Less than sign means what? Importing. So it's like I'm combining many things onto you today, right? Is it too high? It's too much. Forget about this importing, exporting. We'll discuss it later. Let me just delete this. Please forget about it. We'll discuss it maybe tomorrow or next. I just want to, let's concentrate on this. Drop database. Drop database. I want to drop. So you see that it is being dropped. Alright? Are we there? So come down here and now say drop. Drop. What are you dropping? Database. Because you can drop table, you can drop trigger, you can drop database, you can drop function, all that. So this now, I will drop it. It's returning. It says one row affected. So then, how do you understand that it is being dropped? If you try to say use database, it will give you an error. Look at here. It says what? Unknown database. So that means it is gone. So this is how you do what? You drop. But if it doesn't exist and you try to drop it, what will happen? Look at does not exist, right? If it don't, you now say, look at it. If you say drop, it tells you that it doesn't exist. This is the error command. But if you add up this, drop database, if it exists, then there will be no as such error message. This DB here, then you click. It tells you that database doesn't what? Exist. Can't drop database. It doesn't exist. You see the command, the two commands are not same. So it will say delete if it exists. So I think we are done with all this. Then create also. We are done with all this. We did okay. We didn't use select database. Create database. So before that, let me recreate our database, please. I want to create a database, and the database name is what? SchoolDB without L. Then I make it active. Then I create I create the schema. Then I describe. Right? What is he saying? Okay, yes, it is there. Then I will create table here. Clear. Then I will describe it here. It says SchoolDB doesn't exist, right? Is it? Yes. Use. Okay. Okay, it is okay now. You see, I'm repeating. You see, Mysql Workbench is giving us this because you can do copy and paste, you can do all that. Let me remove this drop, and when I check, you see the one something. So I recreated it back. So please, you try to practice this, even though this first one is not everywhere you practice drop. When you drop it, you drop it. There is no undo in database. But we have something called transactional. We'll discuss it. You can do transactional operation. That is the only undo you can. So I think we did all this, no? We did all this. Yes, we did all that. So, but alter table. We did insert also, right? Yes, we did insert right now. Yes. The only thing we haven't done is what? Yes, so let's do update. Let's do update, please. Before that, let us add another. Let's add something. Go. Let's add another row. Let me create this. Let me copy this, and then we add another row. Somebody should volunteer with his name as well. Oh, what am I doing here? This is creating of table. Go. Give me name. What? T-O-B-I. 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 C-A. CS what? 15. Are you sure? Are you serious? Sorry. Exams?
45.
Huh?
45.
45. 35. You don't like this guy. Then insert. When you insert, you check here. Can you see we have how many rows? Two. 2 rows. So now let me, okay, please, another person. Let's have like 5. You said? Lobo. Spell it. L-O-L-E-B-B-O.
Yes.
Another person. What? Like this? With double N? Okay. Then? Halima. You know, when you call somebody's name, they will be attentive. Next. Ibrahim. That's all? No, give me other names. I want to push all these ones. Muhammad. Next? Ali. Okay, good. So let's push all this. And then we...
I'm not in this house.
Okay, okay. Okay, yes. It picked only one code. I'm supposed to use this actually to execute many lines. You know, that one only executes only one line. The commands I'm using. This first one executes many lines, while this one executes where the code will start. I mean, it's highlighting. So I think with this now, we have kind of something. Okay. Yes. So now let's try editing. How do we edit in database? Maybe there is a mistake somewhere. I want to edit it. How do you do that? Let's start with this Smith. This is what the tutorial says. Update table name, set column. You write your expression and you put where. your criteria. Otherwise, it will update the entire class. I mean the entire table. Let's say Smith wants to add his surname here. Or maybe let's start with the CA here. Maybe he scored 35 and it was mistakenly written what? 25. So how do we correct this? The only way is to do editing, to update. To update. You now write a keyword called what? Update. Update what? Table name. Thank you. The table name is what? Sorry. Result code. My result. All right. Next. You now say set. This is a keyword. Set what? Look at the column. Which column do we want to update? CA. You now say CA. It is cashless sensitive. That's why I wrote it small letter. You now say equals to, then you introduce your expression here. The expression is maybe we want to make it 31. Alright? Since it is int, you don't need to include it within quotation. But if it is not int, you need to include it within, enclose it within quotation. But then please suspend this update. There is this we normally say whenever you want to update, before you update, do select and see what you want to update first. Then you convert it to update. Otherwise, you're going to update the entire table. So what do we do first? Let's select it first. We want to select only Smith. Select asterisk. Asterisk means all columns, right? From where? My results. So what is the criteria? What differentiates the first line from other lines? It's only ID. That is the identifier here. Is it? The unique identifier. So you now pick, you now see where means condition, where ID equals what? Equals 1. Thank you. Then you select. If it's able to give you only one line, then you are done. Can you see? Don't say where name equals Smith, because if you have more than one Smith, it will execute for the other guy. Unless if matrix number or something unique identifier is being listed. Otherwise, you have problems. Maybe we need to come with a realistic database and practice it probably tomorrow. So what do we do here? Now we have listed, so that means this condition should be added on our what? On our update statement. You now say where ID equals to what? 1. You are referring to Smith, right? Is it so? Let's now update. Okay, it says Wabu changed. So you can now select to see what is there. If you check only, can you see it gives you 31, but your calculation here is not right.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
So you need to be very careful. That means while you are updating, you need to check if your update is resulting into tempering of another column or another column. Then you need to check. You have to be careful. So what do we do to check on this? We need to update all total, right? So we need to redo the calculation. Is it? So you need to do two things. You update, you can do two updates at a time. You can update only one here. You say this, right? Set A, set CA. Then you do what? Then you do your calculation, because you can update more than one at a time, more than one column at a time. Then you can now do your calculation and update total. Alright? That means set total, then set CA at 1, then set total now. Let me use small letter. Set total what? Equals to CA plus what? Exam. You see what we're talking about? Otherwise, there's going to be a problem. It has done it, so let's see. Now, is it correct?
Yes.
You have two ways of doing it. Either you take it this way or you write two queries. You do the first one, then you write the second one that will do the update for you. only way for you to perfect this what we're talking about is for you to practice and search for materials anywhere. If you have any challenge, you let us know. We'll look into it and then we solve the problem. Are we understanding what we're saying here? So, let me stop this video. It seems to be lengthy. Then maybe we'll look into something and start maybe for just